Warning, warning, your job may be at risk. You're listening to the Home Sellers Advantage. I'm Aaron Zapata, your co-host.
And I'm Todd Anderson, your other co-host. We are the Bald Brothers team at Impact Realty Group with Real Broker, and we are here to give you the Home Sellers Advantage.
You can find us online at www.baldbrothers.tv. Again, that's baldbrothers.tv.
Or you can call us at 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-2253 today.
Welcome back. I'm Aaron Zapata, your host.
And I'm Todd Anderson, your other host.
And we are the Bald Brothers team here at the Impact Realty Group at Real Broker. And guess what? We're talking about today an early warning system.
Everyone's favorite subject, job loss.
Job loss.
Or transfer.
Right. We're in California. We do not have really good earthquake detection software. It's just random, although some would say it's predictable within some, level of degree of, error.
We've come quite a ways for sure.
Yeah.
But
we do, and we don't have tornadoes, so we don't have a tornado warning system. We don't need it. Although we did have a tornado here a couple months ago.
We did.
But that was crazy.
Texas just had Houston. We just had tornadoes over there.
But we do have a warning system if you are working at a company in California that has 75 or more full and part-time employees. By law, your company that you work for is required to give an early notice to the state of California that they will be making layoffs. It is an early warning system for job loss.
It's the Warn Report.
Not Warren Report.
Did you say, how many employees did you say?
So California law requires that employers that have 75 or more full and part-time employees in the preceding 12 months.
Oh, I thought it was 50.
Well, no. I'm looking at it right here.
Oh, okay.
And for all of you who are looking at this, you can go over to the edd.ca.gov, or you can just Google Warn Report. That's WARN report, and you can find a link to this information, which is where we got this information that we're going to cover today.
And we will put a copy, we'll put a link in the show notes for you as well.
Yeah, no, so there's a couple of different things. Those are the covered employers, right? If you have 75 or more. Now, if you have a plant closing or a layoff, here's what's required. A plant closure affecting any amount of employees, a layoff of 50 or more employees within a 30-day period, regardless of the percentage of your workforce, or a relocation of at least 100 miles affecting any amount of your employees.
I think that's where I got the 50.
That's probably where. So if 50 or more are being affected, they're going to give this notice. And so if you work for a bigger company, you should know that there are places you can go to see if your company is on the list. And we're going to go over some of those companies today. And we're going to go over some of the counties today. But before we do that, we wanted to announce that we're going to be having a live event. It's going to be live streamed online. And we're going to talk about what people need to know if they're going to sell their home in California, specifically in Southern California, and move to another state.
Yep.
So if you are thinking about moving and buying a home in another state and selling your California home, please stay tuned. We're going to be advertising it and putting it on the books. I do believe we have a date for it already. And remind me what that date is.
That date is, I know it's a Thursday.
June 17th.
June
we're
20th.
We're really good at this.
June 20th.
We're really good at this. So we just planned it today. And so as you can tell, we're live here, people.
June 20th.
June 20th.
Yeah.
Thank you. June 20th. We're going to have a event where we're going to talk about what you need to know if you're thinking about selling your home here and moving out of state. We have at least 4 things that you need to know. So mark your calendars, and then we'll have a link for that in our future show notes on where you can sign up for that live event. You don't want to miss it. And we'll do a live Q&A. So if you're listening to us and you like
we'll do it all.
We will talk with you in person, and then we'll go live Q&A.
Yep.
Awesome.
And the charge at the door is free.
Is it free? It'll cost you your time.
It'll cost you your time.
Yeah,
that's right.
It is free. So let's talk about why we even talk about it. The Home Sellers Advantage.
Yeah, I mean, this really affects it affects us as Californians, but it really, of course, if you are one of the ones who are affected, it affects you if you're a homeowner because you have a home to sell. But let's face it, it actually affects the greater market, people who aren't part of this WARN system or are not losing their jobs or transferring out of state, because it does have an effect on your real estate valuation as well, and the overall real estate market as a whole in the state of California.
So the big number for California. Now, these are notices that have been filed, and these are either permanent layoffs or permanent job loss from a permanent closure in the state of California that are supposed to take effect this year. And so far, year to date, when we sum up all of the numbers in all of the different counties throughout California, we come up with a grand total number of 45,651 jobs are going to be lost.
Mm-hmm. And that's just for California in 2024.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do a breakdown here. We've got Southern California, which is where we live and where we sell most of our real estate. In Orange County, we have on that list 4,287 jobs.
Yep.
That's a lot of jobs.
That's a lot of jobs. But then when you think that's a lot of jobs, then when you jump to LA County, the number more than doubles. The number is 10,330 jobs in LA County.
And before we give you the other ones, we need to talk a little bit more about the fact that if you work for a small company, if you have less than 75 employees at your company, which are a majority of companies in California, most companies do not have 75 or more employees.
That's right. So this is only marking the larger corporations, larger companies. So this is not an accurate picture of the overall picture. It's just a larger companies.
Correct. These numbers could easily be 2 or 3 times more.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that small companies will cut staff earlier. They don't have to warn their employees like these companies do. And they don't have that, they're not the big number crunchers like a lot of these companies that we're going to name today and have names on the list. They're looking at what are called leading indicators. They're looking at the number of sales in the pipeline. They're looking at the number of visits to their website. They're looking at number of sales orders or, sales appointments completed, not completed. And so they have a really long runway. They can see kind of far into the future when it comes to predicting the revenue.
Yeah.
If you are a mom and pop shop, if you run a pizza place and you are looking at your checkbook every month, you might not be looking 2 years in advance or 6 months in advance. You might be thinking, I can't make payroll next week, and you're going to lay people off.
Yeah.
So this does not include those mom and pop shops.
Yeah. And it's the small businesses that make up the majority of the workforce in America. And by the way, before we continue with the other counties, just really taking a quick look at those numbers, just between Orange County and LA County alone, you're almost at you're at about 33%. You're almost at 33% of the entire numbers for the entire state of California, just with those 2 counties. Now, if we are to add in, let's go to San Bernardino County. San Bernardino County, which is a pretty large county, the number there is 2,485 jobs lost that are reported here with this WARN reporting. And then you add in Riverside County. Riverside County has the fewest number. It's 1,423 for Riverside County. But we also that covers the 4 main counties kind of in our area, but we also do cover San Diego as well. And San Diego County has 8,792. And so that's pretty significant. That covers the bulk of the population, I would say, of Southern California. We're not including Central California, some of the other counties, but the main Southern California area, that's quite a significant number.
So I'm looking here at the California statistics, trying to find them, but I can't find the California ones right now while we're live. But the general numbers for the country are that 86.3% of corporations in the United States have less than 50 employees.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're
Yeah.
let's say we just look at California and assume the number's close to that. Let's say 80% because it's easy. These numbers we're reporting only represent, 20% of the companies.
Yeah.
But they may report they may record, be appropriate for more than that number of employees because they're big companies. Big companies. So one company that employs 30,000 people is going to make up a whole lot of 50 or less companies.
That's right.
But having said that, it's simply to show you that these numbers can be extrapolated and can be multiplied. And it's a much bigger issue than just these numbers.
Yeah. And by the way, just want to remind you, if you want to call us or reach out and find out more information about this or how we can help you if you're one of these people affected, what's the number?
833-305-2253.
That's right.
That's 833-305-2253, or the last four letters are BALD, B-A-L-D.
B-A-L-D.
Because we're the Bald Brothers.
That's right.
That's right. And you know what? We both saw Fall Guy, the movie.
Yeah.
Right? And we do our own sound
We wanted to tell you, we do our own stunts.
We do our own stunts.
We don't have any
true.
body doubles here
No,
on
we don't.
on the home seller's advantage. If you're watching, I do this oftentimes. This is me doing this.
twirling.
Yeah, this trick. This is all me. I didn't bring in a body double to do this. This is 100% Todd's own stunt.
I don't want to break my eye pencil, but look, I can kind of do it. All right. If you're watching us on YouTube, you know what we're doing. If you're not watching us on YouTube, you should go subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It might be more entertaining.
Most boring 30 seconds of your life.
That's right. But we do our own stunts. We jump into our own pools. And
That's right.
most of the time we film our own film. So, it is one of those things. But let's get back to this. A couple of big names are on this list. If you haven't been notified or realized this, but 99 Cent Store is closing all of their California stores. They're just closing all their stores.
Yeah.
And so they are finito, gone. And if you work for them, you are losing your job, if you did not know yet. And that is 1,043 jobs gone because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Aaron, I didn't know you were fluent in Spanish. Finito and gano.
I can speak a few words.
Your last name is Zapata.
I know. I should speak a lot more words. Okay. So sorry. If you work for, let's see, who's the big winner on this list?
As far as the largest number, as I'm looking over
Yes.
here in my chicken scratch Tesla.
Did you write that yourself?
I wrote that myself.
You didn't have a body
I
stunt double.
I did my own
right for you?
stunt. I did my own stunt.
Okay. His own handwriting, people.
My own handwriting. It's
multi-talented.
my handwriting is an adventure.
That's right. Tesla, 3,933.
Yeah, and we've talked about Tesla before.
Have we?
On this show. Yeah, about
The
leaving.
scientist?
No, not
I'm
the
just kidding.
scientist. Elon Musk. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I wonder how many people actually know that Tesla is a scientist.
Well, now they do.
Now
They're listening to us. All right. So, yeah, that's the biggest number. We've talked about them before, but we know that, they expand and contract based on stock price, demand, and all that stuff like that. So it's not unusual to see a big company like that, who's a very big employer in California, decide to hire or lay off. And they did, move some of their employees to Texas. They moved some of them back. And so, but they did vote, I think, to move the headquarters officially. And so there's a whole lot of issues going on there. And that doesn't mean these jobs are lost permanently everywhere. They're just lost in California.
Yeah.
And this is talking about California mostly because this is our market.
Yeah. Hey, there's another one that everybody will recognize.
Yes.
And the number, it's Pizza Hut.
Yes.
And the number was so significant that I did my own stunt writing on this, and I just wrote the number BIG for big, because there's so many Pizza Huts around, and we actually never came up with the actual total, but Pizza Hut was one of them.
Yeah, and I was doing research and I saw the Pizza Huts on there. Basically, Pizza Hut has decided to pivot and change their model. No more sit-in diners. It's kind of like curbside delivery, pick up a delivery only, which means we need less people. So if you work for Pizza Hut and you clean tables, that's a job that is probably going away because they're changing their business model. But all of them, and there were more than 36 locations that had 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 layoffs. And so, but that's a big one. It's a big change. The biggest single location that we found was a Nordstrom in San Bernardino. And I don't know if this was a typo or something, but they had 784 employees affected by a closing.
At one store.
It might be, but it might be also, I didn't look at it, but it might be a big store. It also might be a warehouse.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Maybe they're moving a warehouse. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was a big one. And then Google, if you all Google things, you know who Google is. They had 881 numbers on 881 was their number on the list.
Yep.
Fisker Auto, which was here in Orange County, had some offices around here. They have closed. If you own their stock, too bad. It's gone. 324 numbers.
Hey, for you gamers out there, Activision Blizzard Entertainment, 928 jobs lost.
In fact, one of the articles I read said that Active invited them back. They moved back. They moved into the office to work, and then 3 weeks later got their notice.
Wow.
It's just like,
okay. How do you like that?
Yeah. So that person is probably, if you're listening, we're sorry that happened to you, but you're probably leaving California again. So give us a call. We're happy to sell your home.
Yep.
A couple other ones that you might be familiar with, and then we'll kind of move on and just tell you a little more about some of the changes we're making here at the Big Brother, at the Bald Brother team. You said big, I'm reading it right there. So we read our own scripts too, and we do not do that well.
Yeah.
Perch.
Well, Aaron is a stunt reader. He can read upside down.
I can read and write upside down.
Yeah.
So Perch, the furniture store, it had a lot of locations in Orange County, 324 on that list. And then Rivian has a couple of locations here in Southern California. They've got 461 on their list. And then Walmart, all throughout California, 838 on their list. And then one of my favorite stores at the mall is Z Gallery. They have big artwork pieces on the wall. I really like that.
Yeah.
And they've got 113 on the list. So a couple of things going on there. A couple of Broadcom, which is in Northern California, 1,267 names. And then Apple, 735.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does this mean for people that are listening?
That's a good question. You've listened to those numbers. You're thinking, oh, my word, I work for that company. I need to go find out if my name is on the list. You should. You should go look at the list, and you should find out if your company is on the list. If you see your company on the list, it gives you a good talking point for your boss and your boss's boss. It's just saying if you guys are going to be okay.
Yeah.
If you are looking, if you've owned a home in California and you have some equity, we do know that one of the hard choices to make for a family is to relocate. But we have done it before. Todd and I have worked with dozens and dozens and dozens of families who have left California and relocated elsewhere, whether it be Arizona, Tennessee, Texas, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Idaho, Utah, Nevada.
We had one was Taiwan.
Oregon, Washington. Like
he's just going to list off. Aaron's just listing off all of the states he can think of.
Yeah. No, I'm just the ones that Michigan, the ones we've actually sent people to.
These
right?
are legitimately
right?
ones that we've sent people to.
Oklahoma.
Yep.
We haven't hit them all. We have not hit them all. But you might be saying, I have to be. I got to be aware of what's going on, and I got to make some advanced decisions. And here's one of the 4 things we're going to talk about in our live event is that you do need to plan ahead.
Yeah.
You cannot make a state to state move on a whim.
No.
It's terrible if that's what you try to do. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
But that's not the best thing to do. So you got to have a plan. And that plan involves talking about what your equity position is in your home. So you get a good idea of what your home is worth. It's not what Zillow says it's worth. It's not what Redfin says it's worth.
Yeah.
It's worth what a buyer's willing to pay for it right now. Yep. And, we've got a pretty good track record of picking that and kind of determining that. The market right now is transitioning.
Yes.
And so our numbers are a little bit off. We're actually seeing a great softening in the market. And so we need to talk if that's your plan, because you need to know what your numbers are so you can make a decision.
Yep.
Yeah. And guess what? We're changing the duration of our episodes.
Yeah.
We used to do like a solid 25-minute episode.
If you look back, you'll see that those episodes were exactly 25 minutes, and I think it was like 0.02 seconds or something like that. And that was for the purpose of the radio.
Yeah, we had a radio program.
We had a radio program, but we got a little bit more flexibility with how we do the show now. We're going to shorten it a little bit, but try to provide a little bit more content as well.
With that said, we're out of time.
Yeah, we are out of time.
Yeah. So you want to go to our show notes. If you're listening to this on a podcast app, you'll see the links in the show notes. If you're on the YouTube channel, you'll also see them there in the show notes. You want to click on this link. We'll send you the one to the state website where you can look up all of the different WARN reports, and you can make a choice on your own when you look at that report.
That's right.
Anything else, Todd, before we leave here today?
That'll do it.
All right. Hey, we thank you for listening to us. We appreciate you coming back, and we hope you like the new format, a little shorter, more direct content about one thing, not 9 things.
Yep.
And we look forward to having you back here so we can talk in your ear again, I guess. But more importantly, we want you to like, subscribe, and comment, and we want you to go over to our website, baldbrothers.tv, where you can check out all of our content, reach out to us on our website. Thanks for listening. God bless. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening to the Home Seller's Advantage. The Bald Brothers team is a licensed DBA of Real Broker, licensed by the California Department of Real Estate, number 02022-092. Again, we do not give any real estate, legal, or financial advice. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can call us at 833-305-BALD, or you can reach us online at baldbrothers.tv. Equal housing opportunity.